Abraham Lincoln.
Louisiana Purchase, that's a name.
You need to really get off my balls, okay? I'm gonna kick your ass.
Also, why was Michelangelo so stinky? Ew.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 273 of the All Get Here podcast. I'll be your host today, Patrick. Joining me today is my chatty co-host.
It's that catted guy and Gold Emblem. Y'all fill your water bottles up way too fucking high. I just made a whole mess just trying to get a sip of a beverage.
Yeah,
what the hell?
You heard it here first. Cannon shoots hard on Gold Emblem water bottles.
Straight shooting, pew pew. Don't overfill your fucking water bottles.
Perfectly put, this is a straight shooting episode. Just me and the can man hanging out, having some banter.
Hell yeah.
Because as it typically tends to happen, we had a entirely different episode planned for this week. Things just didn't work out, but we're still going to take that idea, put it on the back burner for a later date. But the show must go on, so Cannon and I are just going to hang out and shoot the shit today.
That we are. It's going to be a good time.
Usually how the straight shootings tend to come up is that, you know, something doesn't quite go right, but you can always count on Can to come in clutch.
Yes. I'm always here, always like Buck, ready to party at all times. That's not true. Sometimes I just want to like read a book.
But he's already to shoot from the hip.
Shoot for the pew pew.
Bang, bang. Straight shooting. TM, TM, TM.
Yeah, we can't copyright Bang Bang, though. Mick Foley might get us.
What if we borrowed it?
Yeah, we can lease it out. Yeah, I think we could probably do that.
Hey, wrestlers, lease out your catchphrases. It might be a lucrative investment.
I mean, hell, he let like some rapper use Cactus Jack, right?
Maybe.
I forget who it is already, but I heard that for the first time, and I mentioned Cactus Jack at work one day talking about the wrestler, and then someone else is like, "Oh, the rapper." I'm like, "Wait, who?"
It's like they're both just like, "Well, who are you talking about?"
I was like, "Who are you talking about?" No one ever knows who I'm talking about, though.
I mean, these are the same group of people that you work with who didn't know what Funko Pops were somehow.
Yep, it's still a little off.
And these being fairly young people, too.
Yeah, I know. I think they're like other hobbies, other interests.
Well, I think wrestling is a good point to start with because a lot of wrestling happened over the weekend, including a personal trip for one Sir Cannon here.
Oh, man, that is right. A friend of the show, Jeremy, and, of course, a network host, Captain Shimmy himself. We took a trek to Duluth, Georgia to see AEW Dynamite live this past Wednesday.
Live and in person. And the rest of us at the Art House who couldn't make it for the trip, JJ, Eli, and myself, we all crowded in the room, cameras ready to, like, snap and shot to see our boys down on the big TV, and we certainly did.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Jeremy got us some damn good seats. We were right there on the ramp. At first, when he said, like, hard camera side, I thought we were going to be, like, basically the camera would see the back of our heads the whole time. They're like, no, the camera's going to see y'all at time. I'm like, what the fuck? So that was cool. This is the second AEW Dynamite that I've been to because you were with us for the first one.
Yeah, that was back in November of 2019?
Believe so, yes.
Right, shortly after AEW was really getting started, and just like to see it live, it's just like a big show. We got to see Chris Statlander for the first time there, Sammy Guevara, Jericho, MJF, and the dynamic return of Luchasaurus. This is a Luchasaurus household.
Full Lucha Diaper all day, okay? But yeah, this was my second go-around, and it was a damn good time. Like Pat mentioned, seeing shows like this in person, they are a completely different monster, but I feel in the best way possible because the energy's right. Everybody in that building's there, for the most part, to not be an asshole and watch the show. But
people who pay money to be a piece of shit in live shows, get some help.
Oh my God, I'll get to the negative bits of this live event later on. But I want to talk about all the good. It was just like, first of all, damn near every performer hell, a referee, camera person, whoever, like, had to walk directly by us, and we're just like slapping hands, high-fiving everybody. I got the sweatiest knuckle bump from Moxley ever. I'm never washing this hand again.
I mean, as it shows,
Still smells
there's like
my
green fumes coming off of it.
I'm kidding you. I'll wash my fucking hands. But yeah, that was rad. Again, you're there for also a Rampage taping. That's their show that they air on TNT on Fridays. And one of the most popular tag teams they have there, the Acclaimed, they have a bit where they like scissor me dead and, you know, basically take their fingers and scissor. It's their gesture. And I got to scissor the Acclaimed. That
Isolate that audio.
I isolate every fucking bit of that, y'all. Don't care. I am proud to have an Acclaimed shirt now. They are the shit. They're hilarious. Bowen, and like, I looked Bowen directly in the eyes and scissor me, daddy, and it was, I could have died right there. I would have been fine.
Alabama man dies of intense scissoring.
Yeah.
The news at 11.
That's the fucking headline. That's the title of the episode. No. But yeah, that was cool. There, I got to Nyla Rose had a tag match on I believe Dark Elevation,
Which is AEW's YouTube show where they have like wrestling showcase there.
Yes. And on her way out, going back up the ramp, I shouted at her. I was like, Nyla, your Twitter is fucking amazing. And she looks right at me and just goes, duh. That was fucking great. That made my night. That was very early on. I believe that was the first. It was either first or second match, I believe. But did they post Elevation pretty quickly after that week, or?
If it's not later that week, it's the first of the following week.
Okay.
I think usually Dark and Elevation is like Monday and Tuesday before
Okay.
the Dynamite.
But yeah, that was gnarly. We got to witness the like kind of return of Jungle Boy, which I think was fitting because when we were there in Nashville, we saw Luchasaurus return, like you said. And this time, Jungle Boy comes back. I'm losing my fucking gourd. I think you can see me on TV just freaking the fuck out at one point. And then he reunites with Luchasaurus because he's been a baddie with Christian Cage here lately. Joined the dark side. Even though Luchasaurus, you look damn good in black. I'm going to say it right here.
Release the dark Luchasaurus figure.
Yes, please. 2-pack, interchangeable heads, doesn't matter. But man, it's just so many fucking. It's like it's one of those times where it's like, God, so many cool things happen, and I'm just trying to like narrow them all down right now. It's nuts. The barbed wire everywhere match was insane. A lot of people are poo-pooing on that right now. I can see how some people could think it was an overbooked mess, but also it's a barbed wire everywhere match. Like it. What are you expecting?
I mean, there might have been a couple of clumsy moments in it, but like it was still really fun to watch.
Yeah, I did go back. There was kind of a botched moment, a segment between Sammy, Jericho, and Eddie. But, you know, it's a fucking live TV. Shit happens. What can you do? But it was funny because it looked like Chris Jericho and Sammy were fighting at one point. And I was like, wait a minute. I thought you were supposed to be friends here. What's going on? That was rad. People were suspended in a shark cage. Yeah, it's like Shark Week also. They partnered with Discovery, and they're doing a cross promotion. Somebody showed up in a shark costume. How come Tony Khan couldn't get Shark Boy on the show? I will never understand. But, you know, maybe the asking price is a little too steep even for TK now.
I guess so.
He's still, like, raking in those fucking Shark Boy and Lava Girl residual checks. Hey, he won the shit out of that case. Well, no, I think they settled out of court, but he did get some money out of them.
Yeah, he did.
But, yeah, it was fucking cool. Kevin Gates was there. Like, he hit Tony Nese in the face.
Yeah, bumped him right on the snout.
Like, I didn't even know he was there. I didn't even see him come in. And then people were like, oh, Kevin Gates is in the house. I'm like, fucking where? He was, like, 10 feet in front of me the whole time. I don't know, because I know, like, they'll bring in famous people outside of wrestling from time to time. I know they don't stay there the whole time. They just kind of, like, you know, sneak them in, do their bit, and get them out or whatever. But, like, because there was a segment with the Acclaimed earlier on that had a bunch of, I assume they were like local indie guys who acted like as crew members, and they got beat up. And then later on, I saw them going back to their seats later on in the show. I was like, oh, it's those guys. 2 people recognized my OSW review shirt. I thought that was pretty rad. I tried real hard to get that one on camera, boys. I'm sorry, I tried. But yeah, it was a damn good time. It was Jeremy's first wrestling show, first live wrestling event.
Yeah, I know he's watched some wrestling before, and he's watched wrestling with us, but like I feel like fairly new to the game. But he took some really good pictures that night too.
Yes.
That he shared with us.
God, like Miro came back, he got a stellar shot of him.
Like the fire in Miro's Titantron, it was the way they had it shot. Is like Miro was standing in front of his screen, and you see the fire just like perfectly just wreathed around his head.
Oh, it was so good. He had a damn good shot of Brody King.
Yep.
God, that match between he and Darby was just a fucking massacre, but like in the best way possible. Even I was concerned for Darby at that. I was like, please stop, Brody. It's getting out of hand. You're killing him.
A man who habitually gets himself mangled for a paycheck is just like, wow, he's really going at it today.
God, it's just like throwing him around that arena, like at the guardrail at least 6 or 7 times. I lost count. It may have been more or less than that. But it was brutal. I'm not going to hog up all the time talking about the show, but I did want to mention Shim and I had a really awesome moment with Claudio when he did his signature gun pose, and we were doing it all together, and he was just looking at us, just smiling. We were having a good time. It already happened. Fuck it. Newly crowned ROH World Heavyweight Champion. First time having a heavyweight championship. That's a fucking crime.
It is sad that it took this long for it to happen. By God, I'm glad he finally got it.
You deserve it. All day, sir. But yeah, damn good time. I recommend anybody who is a fan of wrestling to try their best. Even if it's like a small like indie show, just go. Live wrestling just hits fucking different.
It does. Really does. It's a lot of fun. And we talked about our different little wrestling shows experiences. Just to be there and the energy and just to see it actually happen. It's really nothing else like it.
Hell yeah. One dude made my night. Apparently he was listening to my random bullshit all night long and said, man, you should be on the commentary desk. I'm like, oh my God. I didn't know what to do with that information. My face got hot, but in a good way. I didn't know what to do. And yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
AYCH commentates AEW.
However, check yourself, please, y'all. Like, don't be a drunken asshole idiot, like shouting and like screaming obscenities at the performers either. There was one guy that was directly across from us on the other side of the ramp. Yes, directly. And he was just, at first I was playing along because he wanted to have a shouting match with me. Like, he's literally like saying, hey, look, it be louder. And it was fun the first couple of times, but he kept wanting to play. I'm like, dude, you win. I'm done. And then also throughout the night, like, when the performers wouldn't acknowledge his bit that he was directing at them, he'd be like, fuck you, motherfucking shit like that. I'm like, I'm shocked he didn't get fucking removed from the show, to be honest. He was being a grade A shithead, and it was pissing me off, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, yeah, you're there to boo and cheer and all this and that, but if you're trying to make yourself the main character of the night, then like you're definitely there for the wrong reasons.
Hell yeah. Like, and other than that guy, there was like another guy behind us who was shouting, I mean, just like dumb shit, trying to get over.
Way to be an asshole.
Dude, there's a whole spider right there, and I've already killed one today. Killed 2 spiders on the podcast already, y'all. One was off mic, but one was just live in living color right there. Spiders. Spider warning if you've ever played the Avengers game.
Yeah, spider warning.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a great time. Not the wrestling show, not the spider murder.
Great, now the spider fans are going to come after us, Can.
It's okay. They get warnings in video games now. It's fine.
Yeah, like the thumbnail for this episode is going to have like a spider warning on it.
Hell, I'm keeping my eyes peeled. There may be more. This isn't off kilter for like insect attacks on the show.
I mean, when I was getting ready to set up for today, like I feel like I walked through a whole ass spider web right in this area. It's like, how could this been made so fast?
I mean, you probably like literally every time I come down here to like do a TikTok or go do laundry, I feel my legs touch spider webs. Like they set up so quickly.
Yeah,
like it's insane to me. Like pay some rent, goddamn. Like, give us some fucking money.
You wake up and there's just like a bundle of cash like in the corner of your room.
I mean, there was a cricket just going ham for the past like 4 days. It's not going ham now.
We can't have cricket season again because there was like, I swear, like 4 episodes in a row last summer where there was just a fat ass cricket just like chirping away. And, you know, eagle-eyed listeners could go back and find those episodes on AYCH and probably Cage, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it happened a lot. Like, so many things. I mean, if things went right all the time on this show, would it really be the show?
No.
It gives personality, you know?
It gives it a little bit of zhuzh.
If it's not like the zombie caterpillar from the new Resident Evil show, I guess we'll be all right, I suppose.
We need to get us a zombie bug.
Man, let's get that caterpillar on the show.
Yeah, what's that caterpillar doing these days?
Yeah, what's your Twitter? Let's
zombie caterpillar, come on AYCH. Say your piece about that 9 score to IGN gave to Netflix Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. We want to find out.
It's like he come on. It's like, to be perfectly honest, I felt cheated and robbed. I was only in it for a very limited amount of screen time, and I personally am looking into other options.
It's like, also, caterpillars of the world, unionize.
Even though it's probably going to sound more like...
Apparently, like, Bug TikTok was just like... Okay,
oh, God, don't fucking tell me, Pat. Oh,
Bug TikTok was mad because apparently the zombie caterpillar was, like, making cicada noises and, like, oh, that's an entirely different bug. And 2, when a predator attacks its prey, it's not going to roar and scare them away or, like, have some roaring victory. I'm just like, is this a zombie caterpillar and you're trying to break down the natural acts of animal predation? Do you realize what we're looking at right here?
Like, it's the size of a fucking building, and you're pissed that it's not making the correct noises. Like, fuck off. Man, how do you get roped up in these, like, weird, like, just outrages?
I follow a very eclectic group of people on Twitter.
I mean, I'm sure it's, like, mostly them, like, sharing it, too, probably. For the most part, which is, I mean, fine. Why wouldn't you share this before? I mean, people need to know.
Sometimes you just gotta follow people for the show of it. Like, they're just like, hey, you say some wild shit, but you know what? It's funny. People get hot over a caterpillar.
Oh man, so hot. Just ugh.
But yeah, zombie caterpillar, come on the show. We will love to talk to you.
Yes, please. We have some questions. I'm sure you have all the answers.
Well, I guess continuing on with the wrestling train, they had the ROH pay-per-view.
That's right.
Which, you know, we mentioned Claudio Castagnoli, FKA Cesaro, winning the World Championship. And apparently, it was a pretty hot show. Granted, we missed all of it because we were out of town that night, and we'll get into what we did during that show. But apparently, it was a hot ticket. FTR versus the Briscoe brothers being one of the biggest matches of the night.
Oh, yeah, 2 out of 3 falls. I've always been a sucker for those matches, and you get like 2. They've already had 1 barn burner of a match, and I still haven't seen it. I need to. I want to see it, but now we have 2 of them to watch. And, gee, I've only seen a couple of clips, but damn, I definitely think we should look into that.
Yeah, and just like... From what I've been hearing, it was a pretty high level show. A lot of good matches. I'm very interested to check out the brother versus brother match between Roosh and his brother Dragon Lee, 2 of my favorite luchadors, and just like they had an insane match. Like a clip that I saw that I was like, holy shit! He had Roosh and Dragon Lee. They're on the edge of the ring. Roosh had just hit his brother with a super kick and nailed him right in the head. Dragon Lee was setting up for a running knee, and then right as he was about to connect, Roosh grabs his brother, flings him over his head backwards, and Dragon Lee flies through the air and just lands back first onto the mat. Onto the outside mat.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's like everybody knows brothers fight and they like to, you know, wrestle and grap around, but I just love how like these 2 brothers grew up to be like just world-class luchadors, and like Roosh is just like, Dragon, you're my brother and I love you, but I have no regard for your human life. And apparently Dragon Lee hit one of like the sickest suicide dives. Like if you ever watch any AAA, which is a a Mexican wrestling federation. Those cats hit suicide dives like they fucking mean it. Like they run through the rings 100 miles per hour and then go flying in 3 rows deep into the audience. Just like the insane disregard for personal and life and property.
Yeah, just what little I've seen, the couple of shows I've watched with you, and all of the juicy goodness on Botchamania. They'll be flying around into some people.
Yeah, like it could be like in a show with one of like 30 people in like a junkyard, and then like, you know what, I'm going for it, and just crash through like stone and chairs and shit.
Yeah, like Bleacher Report gave it an A+. Like, man, I wish I can give Bleacher Live an A+.
Yeah, their app is like what we call in the house poo poo pee pee.
Not a full diaper. It's poo poo pee pee in the worst way possible.
Because like we were trying to watch Forbidden Door the other day, and it buffered and stalled out so many times that we in the pre-show that we just said the hell with it. This is not worth the trouble.
Yeah. And granted, I didn't know at the time that you like kept all the shows after you buy them. But at the same time, it's just like, well, the next day you're going to know everything that happened anyway, and we could not enjoy our experience whatsoever. Luckily, the Google Play Store came in clutch, and I got a fucking refund on that one, at least.
See, I guess already any future AEW ROH pay-per-views we might have to maybe shop around. Hell, I'll post up at a Buffalo Wild Wings or some shit to watch it.
I will buy a 9-mile long Ethernet cable to fucking hook up to the TV straight to our router. I don't care. Like, as long as we'll have just a more solid connection to this shit, I'll be okay.
Do what we need to.
God, that's like taking me back to when I used to play Black Ops at my grandma's house. The longest Ethernet cable you've ever seen in your life, from the living room to my room. It's so fun. But shit, what else happened on Death Before Dishonor? I would love to see Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deeb. I bet that fucking match was good.
That was probably a good match. They're both really good in the ring.
Got a B+ on that one. God, I can't get over how ugly that Ring of Honor television title is. I can't let it go.
Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia, I heard, was a good match too.
Oh yeah, I heard fucking great things about that one. I mean, already it's like 2 stellar performers already. Another thing, going back to fucking Dynamite, Yuta looked so goddamn happy when we were yelling at him, like, dude, you fucker, like, he badass, like, will kill your whole fucking family on screen, but just like seems like such like a sweetheart.
Yeah, just like outside of kayfabe, he just seems like he's just a really sweet, cuddly guy.
Yeah, that was nice.
And I guess like one last little note to cap off the wrestling bit with is that the bombshell that last Friday that Vincent McMahon announced his retirement and stepping away from WWE, like in a random tweet late Friday afternoon. And if you've been following any wrestling news, it means a lot of shady shit has been leaking hard and fast about his various crimes, and it's pretty well thought that something big is about to drop that he's trying to get the hell out of Dodge for.
Yeah, the floodgates are officially open, and yeah, none of it's going to be good. But I thought the man would die before he retired. Fucking this bullshit happening. It's like I hope you go under the jail there, bud, because all of it's coming out now. All of it. Just like even the shit that people don't have hard evidence on. It's just like, man, everything. They're about to get everything.
Yeah. Whatever is about to drop on his shoulder, it's going to be fucking well-deserved shit.
Yes, 100%. Like real piece of shit. But there's a question I have. Do you think with old Triple H back as head of talent relations, do you think the product at least might be worth watching again? At least at some point. I'm not going to attempt it anytime soon.
I mean, obviously there's still a lot of performers that I think are cool and awesome and good people that work there. Just because a company's bad doesn't mean necessarily every single individual attached to it or gets a paycheck from it is a bad person.
Right.
I don't know. I'm at this point, I'm kind of too burned on the product to invest really any time other than just with a curious glance every once in a while.
I mean, that's fair.
But I hope for the people who still watch that they get something to care about, because it just really seems over the last several years that Vince McMahon and his ilk really didn't care. They're just like, you saps watch anything and then it shows, so like they still get money, so what does it matter to them if their product's good or bad?
Yeah. It's like, because because I'd always been on and off of wrestling since '98, and I know when I moved here, when I discovered NXT at the time, and it was awesome, was when I came back full charge. And then around like 2019, that's when, wasn't that around that time, it was just like, yo, you know what? I don't think they mean what they say anymore.
Wasn't quite the same, and then
Nah.
luckily we had some alternatives to direct our wrestling energy into.
Well, oh yeah, 100%. AEW has been loads of fun in comparison, and I am okay with it.
Cheers to Tony Khan and his White Claws.
Man, he
He was feeling himself after Vince retired.
I'm talking like he was there he came out to like give an intro and an outro after all the shows and whatnot, and man, I'm not throwing any stones at all, but might have been a little more than just White Claw.
There might have been some extra white in that claw.
maybe a Four Loko or two.
Yeah, but maybe just like, the fizziness, it just went up his nose a little bit, kind of, just like gave him a little pep in his step.
It's just a very excited fella.
Yeah, he just loves wrestling.
Just loves him some wrestling,
And he loves,
don't we all?
and he loves hugging his performers.
Yes, he does.
Because how dare he?
God, that Jay White clip from Botchamania was awkward as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I guess it was like an after-match press. I think it's Forbidden Door. Yeah. Jay White comes down with his belt. He goes, "Yeah, could somebody put this belt on this rack for me, please?" And then Tony comes, "Yes, please, somebody." And they're just like fumbling around. And Jay's like, I know he's probably playing up, but also he seems like he's legitimately pissed. And I'm just like, Tony, what are you gonna do here, bud? I thought he might have died if he just stand perfectly still. Don't try to hug him. Just drink your White Claw and just hang out.
Yeah. And then he probably hit the stagehand that messed up putting his belt with like a Blade Runner, and just like, that's what you get. Not gonna lie, when I first saw Jay White come out in that clip, it's like, what the fuck is Chris Hero doing to the IWGP belt?
Yeah.
It's not just wrestling going down at the Art House. There's a good bit of it around here, though. Saturday, we took another little day trip for a birthday for our friend of the show, Trey. We took a whole heap of people, and we drove up there to Huntsville. It's a spot about 2 hours north of where we stay. And we had a great time. We went back to the Low Mill Art Factory. It's this old mill that's been refurbished as like an art collective with a lot of, artists who have studios there, and then a lot of pop-up tents for people to sell their art outside. And we went there early in the year, about May, and then we went back up, and as usual, we had a great time just to see all those different artists and just like see just a wide array, just like artists and people and interests and like just sights. I mean, it's a great place to go and visit.
I mean, it is. It's always super fun. There's just everyone's is friendly as hell. It's like everyone's excited to show off what they got. The artwork's fantastic. Everybody has their own little nook and just their own little style that they do, and it's just great. You just hang out with everybody. You can buy things if you want to. Just
a great place to kind of like just hang out and shoot the shit with people too, because like everybody's like super cordial and like outgoing. And for us, who has like such a wide and diverse group of friends, a lot of them are very queer. It's great to go to a place in this state that has like openly queer people in it, and it's like this feels like a fun, safe place to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. However, I will recommend going during the when it's not a fiery hellscape outside.
Yeah, because we definitely didn't spend as much time outside on this visit, because it's a little warmer than it was back in May.
Yeah, I mean, and it's unfortunate because I did want to like see all the like tents they had set up out there, but God, we were all melting. Like, it was bad at one point. Like, it was going into that place that had all the fans going was night and day.
A good bit that I like from the trip is that Ken and JoJo got a chance to strut their Guitar Hero stuff for charity while at the convention.
Yeah, that's right. There was a booth set up there for charity. They were selling art from various artists, and they also had Rock Band set up. And I was already interested in buying a couple of prints because a couple of them caught my eye right off the bat, and I was like, damn it, I'm already spending money I shouldn't. And but if you played Rock Band, it was like 10% off your purchase, and I was just like, well, JoJo and I play this for fun, so yeah, right on. So we're like playing Breaking Benjamin in the beaming hot sun.
Of course, what else did you play?
Man, once I saw that was there, I was like, and plus I was also trying to find something short too, because I didn't want everybody turning into a puddle.
Yeah, fair.
But yeah, it was a damn good time. I'm trying to think.
A bit, I think, is tangential to Breaking Benjamin. I told Cannon about there's a secondhand T-shirt booth that was selling some refurbished shirts and old shirts, and I told him that someone had a unworn Static X T-shirt from back in the day.
Yes.
I was thinking holy fuck, Static X, and the person running is like, oh yeah, this is dead stock. This is shirts from bands that never sold, and they went through reclaiming office that sort of takes unsold stock from businesses, and that was one of the things they managed to get. What's really cool.
Yeah, because I remember I walked past that booth at one point, and I just saw one of the shirts on the rack. I don't even remember what it was. I think it was a Harley Davidson shirt or whatever, wolves and shit on it, and it was priced at $20. I was just like, oh damn, that's for that.
I mean,
no.
Vintage shirts is fine, but I'm not sure if I want to pay $100 for a vintage Van tee, even if it was never worn.
Yeah, when Pat told me that it was premium pricing, I'm thinking okay, maybe concert price, $45 fucking dollars or some shit, which I'm still not gonna pay for. That's just me. Especially if it's a T-shirt. Hell, I remember at the AEW show, I feel like at least some of the merch was a little higher than usual. I remember shirts being $25. They're about 35, 40,
Oof.
depending on the performer. But when Pat informed me that it was $100, I was just like, that better have been the shirt. No offense, R.I.P. That Wayne Static fucking died in. And it better have a certificate of authenticity.
The certificate is just a picture of that person, just CCTV footage of just them ripping the clothes out of the casket as security guards tackle him.
Oh man, I say what he's buried in, what he died in.
Hey, he was all about the life. So I would be surprised if he was buried in a band tee.
I would love a Static X shirt though. I still bump some Static X every now and then.
You think his coffin was longer to accommodate his hair?
Of course, they had to. You know they had to gimmick his hair up. They had to. No, there's no fucking way they didn't.
They had just there's a third extra door that closes when they put him in the ground.
So they do know how your hair keeps growing after you're dead. They just cut a hole right there and it just keeps going.
Some say the tree that's by his headstone, that's actually his hair.
Oh, Jesus.
Apologies to the Wayne Static estate.
But yeah, I did pick up a shirt though.
Yeah, you did. Of a great, very local bit.
Oh my God. All right, the first time I'd ever been to Huntsville was a couple of years ago. Because we were supposed to be there for a con, but we opted not because COVID was booming everywhere at that point. We're just man, we didn't want to risk it. However, we still had the Airbnb, so Eli and I decided just to go and hang out. And we saw on this church what is now local legend, the infamous Egg Beater Jesus.
And for reference, because there's just a hand-painted mural on the side of this church that has I guess, an artistic interpretation of Christ and the Holy Spirit led them to paint something in such a way that looks like it's Jesus from the waist up and an egg beater from the waist down. Yeah. I guess to symbolize light and everything. It just looks really funny, and people call it Egg Beater Jesus. You can literally Google Egg Beater Jesus, and it shows you this mural of outside of a church in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yes, it's just the way the light beams line up and how they cut it off. It just looks like a giant whisk. And I believe the shop was called Huntsville Illustrate.
I believe so. There is inside of the enormous, almost labyrinthine art mill. There's a T-shirt shop that sells T-shirts that the mill itself creates and sells, and several designs are just fun little bits. like they have like a cat cafe there for rescue cats. They have a lot of like space shirts because the Huntsville Space and Rocket Center is not too far from the mill, and of course, being because it's a local landmark, so to speak, it's the Egg Beater Jesus.
Yeah, it's like a version of Jesus. He's actually with an egg beater, like whisking something up, and then it's a literal
like an actual whisk underneath his torso.
It's the best shirt. I want to be buried in it. If I die, you could take it off me, and then you could sell it for $100.
This was a Cannon worn shirt.
It's a collector's item, damn it. It's so good. I can't wait to wear it out in the world. I kind of want that fucking tattooed on my body. However, I'm not from Huntsville. Somebody will try to like saw my leg off. Or
it's
some
like
shit.
stolen valor.
Oh no! Put some camo behind it. It's fine.
It's got to be the Browning symbol.
Oh god.
Alabama A, and then for some extra stank on it, the Monster Energy drink logo.
I would have to saw my own fucking limb off at that point. No, I choose death before dishonor.
All right, so I think that's a good place to cut it off for the moment. We're going to take a break real quick and come back at you with more banter. Hang tight.
Oh man, all I want to do is sing the gospel and shake my wiener. I don't care if he's doing a nefarious bit. I just want to shake my dick and sing my songs.
Take it easy there, Cannon Elvis.
God, that fucking Effie clip has made me fucking giggle for like almost 24 hours. So
just how psychotic is the Elvis movie? I've been curious to find out, but I don't know if I want to spend 3 hours. We might have to send Cannon on a special report.
You want me to go solo on the Elvis?
I mean, I'll you know, if it's for a bit, I'll come along too.
No, I mean, I'm willing to wait for this one. I mean, it's the story of Elvis. What can they spoil?
I mean, what don't we already know that's about his ass? Well, in any case, hello everyone, welcome back. Cannon and myself still hanging tight, still talking shit, still straight shooting.
Hello there, mama.
One of the things we did want to get into, something else that we weren't able to talk about due to our big trip over the weekend, is that apparently we missed the big unveiling of Marvel's Phase 5.
Yeah.
And like all these new shows, all these new movies. And we were sort of waiting to come on the show to sort of like go through all of that. Because obviously it's San Diego Comic-Con happening, and like all these other big announcements had dropped over the course of Friday and Saturday. So I think it'll be a good bit to go over the Marvel panel at San Diego Comic-Con.
You know what? I think so. Like, I've seen very little of what has come out so far, and from this past weekend. And yeah, I'm down to clown.
All right, and one of the first things, at least on this feed, that talked about, they revealed the poster for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
All right, we got a poster
Featuring a quartet of characters on the poster there.
Okay, that's a snazzy looking poster.
We have Scott Lang Ant-Man, we have the Wasp, and we have Scott's daughter, Cassie, who's now aged up to a teenager due to some time skip shenanigans after Infinity War and Endgame. Which is it is weird to me how his daughter was like 5 years old in Ant-Man 2, and then she's like 18 and Endgame.
Quantum mechanics.
Quantum, and then yeah, just wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
It's a line of dialogue. It's fine.
Yeah. And then in the background you have Jonathan Majors as Kang the Conqueror, who appears to be poised to be the next big bad for Marvel right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
And, it's pretty close to the classic depiction of Kane the Conqueror with, like, the helmet and the face lines and everything, the glowing eyes and the cloak.
Look, it's pretty solid. I'm looking forward to seeing that in live action.
And apparently, from what I've read, that Quantumania, part of the plot is that Scott Lang is, he's a big worldwide celebrity now. He's got lots of money, lots of endorsements, a book deal, but that fame and his attraction to that is putting him at odds with his family. What some people aren't too happy about, because Scott's always been depicted as being a very doting and supportive and attentive father, despite, his trouble with the law and his sort of like personal malfunctions.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can see why people would be upset with that. I can also see how they would play it off like that because, he's always been, I guess, at least in this universe, a criminal, right? Until he donned the Ant-Man mantle.
I mean, yeah, because he was a thief, and that's Scott Lang's character in the comics. So he was kind of like a screw up, and then taking on the mantle, Ant-Man sort of like gave him a way to like redirect his life, but kind of falls back into old habits. And I think to some extent he's kind of been like flanderized as just like such a big fuck up that he can't put anything together. There is a certain comedy to that, both in the comics and in the movie. And of course, I'm interested to see what happens, but also calling it here, Scott Lang puts Kane the Conqueror in a sharpshooter for Quantumania.
Yes, has to
in the middle of the ring.
In the middle of the squared circle, ladies and gentlemen. But no, I was just like thinking more so because like I'm guessing he's got all of this shit going on. The book deal, he's famous and whatnot. Very, very lucrative, making all that money legally this time, and I guess like he did back in his caper days, he can get a little lost in the sauce, So I can see how that storyline could also work, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like the first Ant-Man movie, I really dug that movie. I was surprised at how much I liked that movie, actually.
For me, Ant-Man is like one of the undersung movies of the MCU.
Same.
And like also I just love how, from a personal standpoint, it feels very tokusatsu to me. You have like a character in a suit, in a helmet, transforming, turns into giant, has a human side. So it's like he is very Toku adjacent, I think, and I think some of the more recent comics have kind of like acknowledged that. Especially one of my favorite recent Ant-Man comics is Ant-Man World Hive.
Yeah.
A 5-issue mini from a year or two ago. It basically kind of pulling a similar plot where Scott and his daughter Cassie are kind of like teaming up to like stop bad guys, and he gets involved with like this plot that sort of reawakens these like eldritch insectoid creatures.
Yeah.
It's a really fun, high energy miniseries. Has some great wrestling moves in it. It's one of my favorites from the last couple of years, and kind of really highlights just like how fun Ant-Man is. And plus, like, there's a point where he summons like all these insects from around him in his giant form to make him gianter, and it's very clearly inspired by Ultraman.
Oh yeah.
Because you have someone who goes from human size to a giant size. That's Ultraman.
Yeah, that sounds super fun, actually.
So I have all those issues. I'll definitely pass that along to you if you're interested.
Hell yeah, I'll read them. I was going to say, like, how many trailers did they end up showing?
I don't know there's that many trailers. The one big one was Black Panther. Okay.
I was about to say, the movie comes out in November, and this is the first little bit anyone's seen of it.
Yeah, like, we'll get to Black Panther in detail, but, like, just, like, to preface that, like, here we are, the tail end of July, and we just now getting details about what Black Panther is. Like, we knew more about Namor and the Atlantean stuff than we did about the Wakanda parts of this movie. And just, like, all the drama that came up with Letitia Wright being sort of, like, combative about her anti-vaccination stance, and then, like, her possibly being poised to, like, take up the mantle as Black Panther because Shuri does that in the comics. And people just, like, it's just really the best thing for someone who's like actively against like COVID vaccinations to have such a big role. And then the discourse whether or not the role of T'Challa should have been recast after Chadwick Boseman's death. The hopes weren't very high for the movie because like just from all the trouble.
Yeah.
But as we'll get to later, the trailer seems to assuage a lot of fears.
Okay.
But we'll get to that in just a moment.
All right.
But just to go on down the list, they announced 4 new properties for the Marvel animation.
Okay.
We have X-Men 97.
Yes.
Which seems a continuation of the 90s X-Men cartoons. We have Spider-Man freshman year, which is Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's sort of like his early days, sort of like filling the gaps between the movies.
Okay.
The second season of What If.
Nice. I am perfectly comfortable with more What If. Yes.
And something that might be up Cannon's alley, Marvel Zombies.
Oh, it's happening. Everyone stay fucking calm. I can't wait for that shit. And it's going to be in the What If animation style, right?
That I don't know.
Really? Okay.
But we're getting a Marvel Zombies animated show.
I have been waiting for something like this for so fucking long, and I'm glad it's happening. Yes. I think I saw like a clip. I didn't watch the whole thing because I wanted to be as fresh as possible for the show, but like they announced at least the main cast for X-Men 97.
Yeah.
It's like I know at least Jean Grey, Beast coming back. I think that's as far as I got because I didn't want to, I guess, like spoil what we were gonna do today.
And like on the Marvel animation stuff, it seems like a lot of them scheduled for 2024 with What If Season 2 coming fall of 2023.
Ah, okay. Got a significant gap there, but I get it. It's animation. I get it.
Takes a little while. Yeah, apparently with Spider-Man freshman year takes place before Civil War.
Okay.
Apparently on the show you'll see Harry Osborn, Amadeus Cho, Nico Manuro from The Runaways, Chameleon, Scorpion, Pyromaniac, Speed Demon, Tarantula, Doc Ock, Rhino, the Wizard, Daredevil, Doctor Strange, and Norman Osborn.
GC. No. No, that sounds rad. Like, I'm down for that.
Apparently Charlie Cox is confirmed to play Daredevil in the show
Yeah.
for Spider-Man freshman year.
Okay. So all iterations of him, it will be Charlie Cox. Hell yeah.
And we'll definitely talk about Charlie Cox here in a moment, too. And for What If, Season 2, we have What If Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper.
Okay.
Odin versus the Mandarin.
Okay.
Tony Stark on Sakaar, the planet that the Hulk was trapped on in Thor Ragnarok, and in Planet Hulk.
Okay.
And I just say also a origin story for Hela as well.
Ooh, nice.
Apparently, there's going to be a episode based off Marvel 1602, which is sort of like the Marvel characters in like colonial era, the Pilgrim era.
I remember that. My uncle had those comics.
Yeah,
That
so
should
they
be
like
cool.
just a good bit to be interested in as far as the animation is concerned.
Hell yeah, I'm ready. Like, I was a huge fan of What If. Like, I really dug it.
And they said that Black Panther Wakanda Forever, that would be the official end of Marvel's Phase 4, which there's been some ups and downs in Phase 4, but it kind of just feels like there wasn't like an overall goal that was reached in this sort of package of shows and movies.
Yeah, they seemed a little well defined beforehand, but, you know, I mean, shit happens, I suppose. I kind of think COVID might have mucked up the works a bit, and of course, you know, it's always unfortunate when someone passes, but
Yeah.
you know, it's like things just happen. But yeah, there hasn't really been like it's like, at least to me, like, I don't know, a congruent point here.
Yeah.
It's like we know Kang's coming. I mean, he's probably going to be the next big bad of this universe.
That's pretty much confirmed.
But like, we've only gotten a taste of that so far, and that's just in Loki.
And like the Loki multiverse stuff and the Doctor Strange multiverse stuff has been seemed pretty unrelated despite tackling the multiverse. And it's like, well, was there a point with this? And it just kind of seems like it had to have been as plotted out as it could be.
Yeah.
And plus, you know, we have to deal with a very real phenomenon of just like fatigue. Like, you know, I'm sure a lot of people hit their wall a lot sooner, but even like some of the very enthused Marvel fans are kind of feel like this is just a lot to keep up with. Like, I don't think anybody I know has completed every single Marvel show that's come out. I know I haven't, and I don't think anybody else, at least in the house, has.
Yeah, I'm still behind on all those materials. It's like, I know people, like, I used to work with some people who would literally, like, even if they'd be asleep, all right, the new Marvel shows up, and they would, like, set an alarm for, like, 2 a.m. when it drops stateside just to, like, watch the shit. They do it for a lot of, like, Star Wars shows and whatnot. I'm just like, fuck that. I'll watch it when I get the time.
Yeah. But it did say Quantumania would be the official start of Phase 5.
Okay.
And it's looking like Quantumania will come out February 17th, 2023.
Okay.
Followed at some point in the spring of that year by Secret Invasion.
Okay.
Which seems to be one of the shows. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which is scheduled right now to be May 5th, 2023.
Okay.
And then Echo will come out summer 2023.
Right,
Echo being a indigenous character that first debuted in a Daredevil story. She'll like have some kind of cameo or like early bird appearance in the She-Hulk show.
Okay.
Which is how Charlie Cox as Daredevil will come back into the wider MCU out after Far From Home, or No Way Home, excuse me.
Okay.
And then Loki Season 2 is also poised to be in summer 2023.
Man, that's already popping off. Okay.
The Marvels, which is like the joint venture between Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel, that's scheduled to be July 20th or 28th. Excuse me, it's a little fuzzy on this picture. The latter part of July in 2023.
Okay.
And then Blade coming out November 3rd, 2023.
All right. I'm very curious about Blade. I want that to be good.
Very excited for that. But my man, we talked about him before, Daredevil is coming back spring 2024. Charlie Cox, just like,
Yes.
It's like, I know the other Netflix shows, they have their space, they have their fans, but like just me being a Daredevil fanboy, like I really enjoyed the show. I'm glad that he's coming back, and just his little his cameo in No Way Home is just like, I don't need anything else. I got one. I was just like, I was just silent because I just sucked in air, and it's like, he's here. Then Gannon shouted in the theater.
I was about to say, all the cameos that happened in fucking No Way Home, that was still my loudest moment in that theater.
Yeah.
I was a little embarrassed. I'm sorry, everyone. I was loud as shit that night.
Yeah, so the revitalized series Daredevil Born Again will come out spring of 2024 with returning co-star Vincent D'Onofrio.
Got to bring him along. You got to. Best version of Kingpin we've gotten.
And a little further on the timeline, we have fall of 2023. We have Ironheart about Riri Williams, the young black girl who like creates her own Iron Man suit of armor, and then kind of gets involved in the affairs that Iron Man does, and how that picks up after Iron Man's death. And
is that a show or a movie?
Huh?
Is it a show or a movie?
I think it's a show.
Okay.
We have Agatha, Coven of Chaos, coming winter 2023/2024.
Oh, man. I did see the graphic for that. I was just like, oh, okay.
Then Daredevil Born Again, spring 2024. Captain America, New World Order.
New World Order.
Coming May 3rd, 2024. And like, look, if Sam Wilson, like, Two Sweets, oh shit.
Yes, please. There better be so many Two Sweets in that movie.
Going back on Daredevil, because I'm kind of going through this as they're shown here.
Yeah.
That surprisingly, the Daredevil Revive series is going to be 18 episodes long.
Yes.
Which, like, that's a big order for a show, because most shows are like 6 to 8 these days. I'm here for it,
Yeah.
Keep it the Marvel TV show length, 30, 35, 45 minutes. It's a good solid length. Because like, as much as I enjoyed the Netflix shows, I kind of feel like they felt a little padded at certain points.
Yeah, just don't make them Stranger Things season 4 length, and we'll be A-okay.
We should be fine. Thunderbolts is slated to come out July 26, 2024. With starring Daniel Bruhl is set to return as Baron Zemo.
Okay.
And I think there's been like a couple of like leaked rosters kind of floating around, like who would be on the Thunderbolts, like possibly the Abomination, Winter Soldier, and a few other like rascals of the MCU.
It kind of makes me sad though, because William Hurt's not with us anymore.
Yep.
Damn, that's a bummer. Sorry, R.I.P.
She-Hulk has been said it'll be a 30-minute TV show. Like each episode is 30 minutes.
You okay?
Obviously, I appreciate brevity. Appreciate they're sticking with comedy, which is what She-Hulk is known for.
Yeah.
Curious how the reception will be. A lot of people are on for it. Some people are just like, she's not muscular enough. And in an era of muscle mommy, she could be a little musclier.
I mean, I guess, but it's like, it's for the most part, isn't it an all CG character?
There's a good bit of CG, which I kind of feel like they probably could have used some real life stuff, but I guess if he's like 9 feet tall or whatever, they might have had to like jizzed it a bit.
Yeah. But I'm also very excited for that show. Like, I know people have been just like, about it, but I'm like, you know what? I'm for it. Green Muscle Mommy, sign me up.
All right, Cannon and I, we're going to watch the trailer for She-Hulk and be right back with you for that almost live reaction.
Yeah.
All right, we're back. We just watched the She-Hulk trailer, and
Yep.
what do we think?
I'm excited. This show looks like it's going to be loads of fucking fun, actually.
The trailer shows She-Hulk coming to terms with her abilities. It's like she's going through this training regimen with Hulk, with Bruce Banner, and how it segues into her being like taking to be like this legal consult for this law firm that's set up around superhero and like superhero like interest and collateral damage and yada yada. With like the first big case revolving around the Abomination, you know, the villain of the Hulk movie, and she's like, "Hold on, why am I supposed to defend in law the man who tried to kill my cousin?"
Hell yeah! And Tim Roth is back playing him, which I'm happy for because I think that movie that's my Marvel movie that I think gets too much poo poo on. I mean, granted, it was like Edward Norton and whatnot, but still, I enjoyed that movie. It was definitely better than what we got beforehand. Like Ang Lee's Hulk, that was interesting. In retrospect.
And you know they stick to the comedy, and it looks like they're doing the breaking the fourth wall because she had a bit where she like looked over, so it was like, he doesn't mean that. And then they both like, huh, just like looking back at each other.
And I fucking love that shit. Like Shimmy told me that she was basically Deadpool before Deadpool.
Yeah,
Deadpool.
she was. Yeah, she broke the fourth wall first in terms of like a comic character, and she would speak directly to the audience and have like these little like witty observations in terms of phrase, and you know she did it first.
I'm down. That show looks like it's going to be really, really fun to watch.
All the little like cameos, like the Wrecking Crew's in there, the long-time Hulk villains, basically just like construction team that gets like super-powered weapons, and then they go and wreck up the place, and she's shown busting them up. Even though I knew it was coming, I knew Daredevil was going to be in it, but the fact that they ended the trailer with him flipping around and landing and just slow pan up and then cuts away, I was like, bitch.
Just literally tip stroking at that point.
And I love how they finally settled on a decent cover image for She-Hulk where it has, you know, the Hulk text, but then also like the old comics, the kind of 80s script She-Hulk next to it. Because before it looked very sterile, and it's like, oh, come on, give it some personality. And then they went back to it, She-Hulk Attorney at Law.
It's a nice logo. I dig it. And plus, you put purple and green together. I'm a fan anyway. It's like two of my favorite colors.
Starts August 17th.
August 7th. Wow. God bless Texas. Jesus. I just need to buckle down and just watch all the shit that I haven't, just so I can just be caught up and be done with it. Because like I said, I still haven't finished Moon Knight.
Same. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it's just like, I gotta find time. I got a vacation coming up. Maybe I'll binge some shows.
Hell yeah.
They announced that Colby Smulders will return as Maria Hill in Secret Invasion.
Okay.
They said Ant-Man and the Wasp will feature a lot of the screen time actually in the quantum realm, where they're like zipping and zopping in like the weird spooky time world. We forgot to mention that Wong showed up in the She-Hulk trailer.
That's right. The real question is Walton Goggins coming back for Ant-Man.
The real question we need to know.
We need hard fucking answers here.
Oh, they also did say that MODOK is going to be in Ant-Man and the Wasp in Quantum.
Oh shit! Okay.
So MODOK being a famous, infamous-looking villain in the Marvel comics, a big old head and a big yellow chair and itty-bitty arms and legs sticking out of that head. How are they going to portray that character? Because isn't MODOK in the Avengers game that you played the other day?
I'm starting to chip away at it again a little bit, just out of curiosity.
The infamous Avengers game that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah. I actually started it again, and it looks like he is starting to turn. I forget his normal man name before he turns into MODOK, but can confirm his head is starting to swell a bit.
A bit. It seems James Gunn thought, while the Guardian story is ending, It doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to be ending with the movie. Because there's like kind of some fears that James Gunn is just going to like kill off a bunch of the cast as a show of leaving out the door. But that may not necessarily be the case. I'm sure, with it being a finale, like the odds are that someone's not going to make it out.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's not going to be like a Suicide Squad. Well, it's not going to be like the Suicide Squad 2 or something where like the entire Guardians are killed off immediately. I mean, would it be weird to say I'd be okay with that if, like, he did that in that style and introduced a whole new team and all of a sudden Cosmic Ghost Rider just shows up just out of fucking nowhere? I would shit all the britches.
On Cosmic, we are getting Cosmo, the telekinetic space dog astronaut.
Oh, he's coming back. Because he was in the first Guardians movie for a bit, I believe.
But it seems like he'll have like an expanded role.
Yes,
in this film.
I am down for an expanded role. He had a really good a role in the Guardians of the Galaxy game, and I still highly recommend everyone play that game if you haven't already. It's so much fun.
Oh, Jesus. I'm just now seeing a picture of Will Poulter on stage. The dude's got fucking big. Like he's playing Adam Warlock.
Okay.
A key character in Guardians 3, and he's been hitting the gym. Look at that.
Jesus, he's like all shoulders right now.
Yeah, the man too ugly to be in the movie, as some like execs would say.
But he's in the movie though. Like what the? Too ugly to be. Isn't he gonna be like gold anyway?
I think so. And we have a first look at one of the assumedly antagonistic force in Guardians 3, the High Evolutionary.
Huh. Okay.
Due to the, I guess, like the genetic modification of Adam Warlock, and I'm sure he'll be connected to Adam's story in some capacity to the film. It did announce that Fantastic Four would be the first film in Phase 6, releasing November 8, 2024.
Oh, man. We're just like zooming through the phases now, bud.
Yeah, and sort of just like speedy timeline, the next two Avengers films, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, will release May 5th, 2025, followed up later that year in November 8th, 2025, with Avengers: Secret Wars.
Okay, so we are getting an Avengers end cap, but both of them, like, literally at the... Wait, this is after Fantastic Four?
Yes, because this is 2025.
Okay.
So part of Phase 6. Phase 4 to 6 is the Multiverse Saga, as it's now being dubbed.
Okay. I mean, just make the Multiverse Saga cool, I guess, and I'm ready to play.
As of now, Phase 6 is Fantastic Four, Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Avengers: Secret Wars, coming out in November 2024, May 2025, and November 2025.
That's weird that, like, Phase 6 is just, like, Fantastic Four and then just boom, boom, back-to-back Avenger movies. I mean, I'm sure they have something planned by then, but, just sounds a little bizarre on paper to me.
And just, like, the sheer speed at which they're doing this is kind of like, oh, my gosh, this is a lot. And it just within our own group, like, I think Thor: Love and Thunder kind of, like, put a sour taste in some of the gang's mouths. So I don't know if I'm as enthused about what's coming forward. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be good. But it's sort of like when a lot of us were kind of let down by the movie, well, it's kind of hard to pick that back up, especially on top of just, there's just so much coming out.
I mean, that's fair. But I guess you also gotta keep in mind that it's different directors, different styles.
Yeah,
it's like it's all not gonna be the same.
So.
It's like just because Love and Thunder put a sour taste in my mouth, I'm still excited for what's coming. I just want it to be better than that.
Yeah, definitely. I would hope they put a little more time and effort into it.
Yeah.
We have a couple pictures of some of the cast on the stage with the newcomers: Tenoch Huerta, who's playing Namor, and Dominique Thorne, who's playing Ironheart, having her debut appearance in the MCU as part of Wakanda Forever.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's actually really good casting. You said it's Ironheart right there?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
We've been knew that Namor became part of the film, him being like a, I guess probably at first an antagonistic force, and then, something happens. They have to work together to save the day.
Yeah.
So I guess while we're on the subject, we're finally going to watch the trailer that everybody's been talking about, the trailer for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which will be coming out this year, November 11th, with a lot of trepidation, but we'll see if our reservations are put to rest with the trailer. Hang tight. We're going to watch it and be right back with you with our thoughts.
Here we go.
welcome back, everybody. We just watched the trailer for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. What did we think of that?
That was actually a really good trailer. In fact, I got a little emotional. I got a little misty-eyed in there in the beginning. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I think that's probably one of the most memorable trailers they ever produced. Like, it's obviously a very somber opening with sort of just the aura of, you know, Chadwick Boseman's passing. And like, I still remember, like, we were hanging out when we found out that he passed away. It was just so sudden and crazy. And like, that absence is like noticed throughout the trailer. Yeah. But it shows like all the members of T'Challa's family and like in his kingdom sort of like picking up or trying to persevere, with his mother sort of like taking up position on the throne, and then like his sister, his lover, Okoye's, you know, taking up just like this martial role in the kingdom. And it has all these different shots of them sort of picking up the pieces and moving forward. Yeah. And dealing with like the international backdraft, you know, that the monarch dying, you know, just like this, and plus, you know, an Avenger as well. Yeah. So it's very interesting to see how they're gonna approach that, and like, I'm definitely intrigued, like, because like that's a great trailer. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm here for it. Whatever. I mean, obviously, I'm still a little like curious how it's all gonna pay off, but just from the trailer itself, just going from it seems very promising. Yeah,
we went from just seeing a logo on a giant poster at our local theater to that, and yeah, that was a damn good trailer. I'm not gonna lie. So, like, obviously, how the final product will turn out remains to be seen. But just from trailer, I give the trailer like an A+. That was a great trailer. And of course, we are introduced to Namor, a force to be reckoned with in the movie. And of course, Namor in this film in the MCU is heavily based off of like Mayan design and culture, with Tenoch Huerta, who you might know from Narcos. Yeah. Assuming that role. And we see what looks like Namor's birth, like, you know, this sort of like private underwater chamber with his mother like giving birth, and he's sort of floating in the water with his wings on his ankles, like Namor does have in the comics. And you see different parts of like the Atlantean army sort of like riding whales and like surfacing through the water with like, you know, their Mayan headdresses and battle armor on, and Namor being noticeably different from the Atlanteans. The Atlanteans are these blue-skinned aquatic humanoids, and Namor, outside of his winged feet, looks very human. Yes. And of course, him being half Atlantean is responsible for that. So, like, I'm really liking this interpretation of Namor. Yeah, he looks really good. And like, Tenoch Huerta is a great actor, and so I'm excited to see what he brings to the movie, on top of just like having that regal presence, you know, this other like superpower in the world coming against this pre-existing one with Wakanda. I'm just gonna say, y'all gonna have to pray for me, because Tenoch Huerta in the booty shorts, it's like, I'll be fanning myself all through the movie. Yeah, I mean, Winston Duke's back, so my ass is already gonna be in the chair. Like, Winston Duke returns in the movie, I'm just like, as M'Baku, just like, my man. So cool. While we don't know who's officially taking on the role as Black Panther, we know that someone will by the end of the movie, because the last frame of the trailer is someone from like waist down in the Black Panther outfit, like popping their claws. So someone takes up the mantle. It's as a guess right now who it is. I know, man. Marvel is all about stroking the tip here. It's like, it's already happened at least 2 times. And one of them, like you said, I didn't check that was supposed to be Daredevil in the She-Hulk trailer. Yeah. But I'm just like, I'm just an idiot. And we also saw a shot of Dominique Thorne, you know, teasing Ironheart. You know, you see this girl banging on a piece of metal, and then the heart-shaped chunk falls out. That's right. Holy shit. Oh, my God. I didn't even clock that at first. You know, so it seems like a large part of the cast returning. Lupita Nyong'o, Letitia Wright, Angela Bassett as T'Challa's mother, Winston Duke as M'Baku, Denai Guerrera as Okoye. You know, it looks like the biggest part of the gang is back. I'm excited now. Like, I'm really looking forward to see what happens with this, and like how they cap off
phase 4, which, has had, I would say, it's a lot of ups and downs. So, like, can they finish phase 4 on a high note?
You know what? Anything's possible, I suppose.
I guess before we wrap up today, was there anything else, lasting thoughts, impressions on the outlook of Marvel so far? What we think heading into the future?
As wibbly wobbly as a lot of this has been, even across the board on the What If, the Doctor Strange, the No Way Home, I am digging multiverse. Like, just give us some good multiverse material, and if indeed this is going to be quote unquote the multiverse saga moving forward, then just like, I don't know, just give us some like material that, I mean, I hate to say it, but give us some good fan service, I suppose. Like I said earlier, like, I would shit a fucking brick if Cosmic Ghost Rider showed up. Like, that would be fucking rad. They'd probably throw me out of the theater if that happened. I would be the most obnoxious son of a bitch for like probably 30 seconds.
He's just screaming, just like tearing his clothes off, shaking the sheets.
It's like, I have him on my arm, my God!
It's like, that's him!
That's him right there! It's like, it's fine, get out. Like, God damn it.
and then you just hear like that gravelly voice of John Bernthal.
Man, they got my fan fiction. They got it. They got every fucking word. I don't know. It's like, I really enjoyed What If. I'm excited to see more What If. I know that's ways away, but at the rate I'm knocking out the Marvel material, I'm guessing I'll still have shit I haven't seen by then too. So who knows? Excited for more Ant-Man. I'm always down for more Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for She-Hulk now. I will say that.
Yeah. As for me, I have a soft spot for Ant-Man in the movies, so I'm hoping for some fun with that one. The second coming of Daredevil.
Born again, baby.
Couldn't be more pleased. Love Daredevil, love Charlie Cox, and I'm glad that he gets this new chance to be his famous character and once again. I'm pleasantly hopeful for Wakanda Forever. Yeah. I want it to succeed, and I want to see what how they cap off this section of the movies. And like, while I definitely feeling some fatigue, I'm definitely keep an eye out on what's coming and see what happens going forward.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think that kind of caps off the banter portion of today's episode. We did want to mention before we wrapped up for today completely that AYCH is going to go through a couple of summer changes as the season goes on. This will be the last bit you hear from me for just a little bit. I'm taking a month off from the show. I'll be still working on the behind-the-scenes portion of the show with the social media, with the editing. But don't worry, the show is in very capable hands. Colt and Wenzel will be leading the show every week in the month of August. They have a lot of stuff planned for y'all, a lot of movie talk, a lot of big movies that have hit the screens that I'm sure you'll all be talking about, and they'll be discussing it well in full detail and spoilers, and some gaming talk as well to wrap up that month. So Colt and Wenzel will be leading the program for the entirety of August, and I'm very excited to see what they do. I think you'll be very pleased with what they pull off. And there might be some more things coming on the horizon. I'm working on some projects myself, and there might be some more shows that I hope you find will be ultra interesting. So there's a lot that we want to do. We have a lot of big plans. We have a lot of ideas, and I hope that this next quarter of the year will be a way for us to fulfill that, try some experiments, try some new things. We feel very fortunate to have been a part of this show for 5 years, and we want the show to continue to grow and continue to be a place for us to put all of our creative ideas and interests in. I mean, it's called All You Can Hear for a reason, and we want that to showcase everything that we are and give some other people part of our friend group and collaborators space for them to talk as well. So we have a lot to look forward to as the year goes on, and we hope that you're there with us every step of the way. And also want to thank my co-host Cannon for coming in clutch and joining me today.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me. I'm always down to banter around.
So it's been a great edition of Straight Shootin' with Cannon, TM.
TM, pew pew.
And we hope you enjoyed yourself today. Be sure to follow us wherever podcasts are found. That's SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. We're probably there. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you are on this platform. It helps us out, keeps us visible, puts us in front of you people, and we always appreciate you when you do it. If you're listening to this episode, the weekend comes out, we have a brand new episode of Cage and Greatness. It's an uncaged edition where we'll be hanging out with a lot of our friends on the Cage side of things, playing another round of the Impressions game. So that'll be a lot of fun. Please just keep with the show. We have a lot of fun things. Signing off for the next month. This is Patrick. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at John Lost His Name.
Patrick, we're gonna miss you, bud.
I'm still being here. I'll be keeping the lights on. You won't be hearing from me as much from the main show, but I'll be back in September to talk with y'all again.
Yeah, he ain't dead. He's just taking a break. And I have been That Cannon Guy. You can follow me at That Cannon Guy on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, Goodreads, and TikTok.
All right. Thank you all so much. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you very, very soon.
Goodbye.
Nice.